Hi there, it's Nicole McGurk for the Hero Arts 2014 Catalog Blog Hop, and today I have a card share for you featuring their brand new Tiny Flags background stamp and the You're So Kind 4x6 clear stamp set. What I did first was I trimmed down a piece of cardstock slightly smaller than the front of a standard size card. This is some smooth white cardstock. And I'm going to ink up the Tiny Flag stamp with some Versamark ink. Make sure I get that covered really well. I placed a sticky note on the back side of my cardstock, and I'll show you what that's for in a little bit. It's just a little handle so that when I put the embossing powder on this, I won't have to touch it with my fingers. Even the edges of the cardstock I won't have to touch with my fingers. So I'm just pressing the cardstock all over really well. I like to take my cardstock or my paper to my stamp rather than placing the stamp on the paper. Just gives me more control with where I position the paper on the stamp. Excuse me. So I'm going to sprinkle on the white embossing powder. This is some embossing powder from Hero Arts. And I just want to make sure that I get this piece of cardstock covered really well. I'm going to tap off any of the excess and pour the rest of that back into my container. And then I'll take it over to another desk and melt all the embossing powder with my heat tool. Next, I'm using sticky notes to mask off each line of the design kind of diagonally. And then I'm applying 3 colors of ink. So you can see I'm just moving my sticky notes. They're serving as a mask for this. I'm using the Distress inks in Spun Sugar, Picked Raspberry, and Barn Door. Just 3 really nice colors for kind of Valentine's-ish colors, but this card could be for anything. It would not have to be just for Valentine's Day. And you can see I accidentally skipped a line there. Luckily, it was my lightest color, so I can go over it with a darker color, which I'm glad of, so I didn't have to rethink my process there. And then I just took a wet wipe and wiped all of the excess ink from the embossed areas off. And I just did that a couple times as I worked. So it may take a little bit to do this, but the end result is incredible. Much easier than coloring in each individual little triangle with markers or something like that. So I really thought it was a fun look. You could do this with so many different colors, any combination you can think of. This just worked really well for a Valentine's themed or a love themed card, I guess I should say. So I'm just continue to work all the way from one corner to the other. And there might be some areas that aren't as perfect, but once the card's all together, I don't really think it's that noticeable. I love the way the background looks this way. A great fun way to add lots of color to the background of a card. So I'm getting down to that bottom corner. I'm going to finish with my inks, wipe off any of that excess, and then I stamped my greeting on a strip of white cardstock using some black Hero Arts ink, and then I'm going to take the heart, and this greeting is from the You're So Kind stamp set, and this little heart is too. Oh, I was playing with another one of the stamps in the kit, and I decided not to use that one. I'm going to use the heart instead. And I took the Spun Sugar ink and stamped that right in the center. Because it was my lightest one, I felt like that would not take away from the greeting the most. I didn't want a too dark of an ink behind it, if that makes sense. And then I just kind of worked my way out using the same 3 colors of ink that I used to make my background. So the Spun Sugar, the Picked Raspberry, and the Barn Door inks. Just go the other direction now. Add a couple more hearts. I purposely left this strip of paper longer than what I really need for my card because I feel like it gives me a little bit more room to play, if that makes sense. In case I don't get everything stamped or lined up exactly right when I'm stamping on the strip, this allows me to shift it one way or the other if I keep it longer and then just trim it down once I get all my pieces together. Add a little adhesive. I kind of didn't do that very straight. And I'm just going to adhere that. I thought I better clean up my craft mat. It had some pink ink. I didn't want to ruin the back of my card. So I adhered the greeting strip on some gray cardstock and then trimmed that down to fit my background, and then I placed that all on a white card base, and I'm using a little bit of the Wink of Stella clear glitter brush tip marker to color over those hearts just to give them a little shimmer and shine. And I'm going to finish my card with some Hero Arts gemstones. I hope you've enjoyed this video showcasing some of the brand new 2014 Hero Arts stamps. Please check out all of the stops on the blog hop for lots of great projects featuring more new stamps. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.